Welcome into Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk for a Monday evening. Excuse me. Oh, God. So unprofessional. For a Monday evening, the 16th day of May. This is the second of two streams that I do every day here. The first stream we call Pillow Talk. Stupid. The first stream is called High Noon. That comes on Monday through Friday from noon till whenever. Today we went to about 2:30. Typically I shoot for 2. Sometimes we go over. And then we come back at night and we do this at 9 p.m. Pillow Talk. It's typically Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk. And let's bring him in. There he is. He's James Parker. He's the Parker of the Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. Hi, James. I can't hear you. Why can't I hear you? What's going? All right, maybe hold on. Keep talking. Count to 10. Keep counting.
Now, there it is.
Was that you or me? Did you?
Me.
That was you. Oh God! Don't do that to me. Because
I'm sorry. I had a power blink and everything reset over the weekend. So
did I. That's why I just assumed it was me. I assumed I plugged something in wrong, and it's Monday, so that means it's Kelly Moore Monday.
Continue excitement.
Kelly and I are the same in that if there's something wrong, we just assume it's us. Just assume it's us. Mm-hmm. Nobody else.
I'm normally right.
Ed's like, dude, don't start messing with your own equipment. Oh, go lay down, you oxy head. Did you hear about Ed?
No.
Ed had his knee completely reconstructed.
Oh, no, I did know about that.
Yeah, and he's completely wigged out on the oxy.
I'm jealous.
Lucky.
Yeah. Lucky.
And, Ed's like, dude, don't start messing with your own equipment. Okay, first of all, it's your equipment. Thank you very much. And secondly, how am I supposed to learn? How am I supposed to learn if I don't screw it up and then fix it? I used to call Ed for every little thing.
I still do.
But I stopped calling Ed and I started going, I got to learn how to do this on my own. And so I just started finagling with stuff and, hitting switches. And now I don't know what I'm doing, but I know what it's supposed to look like, which has got to be an improvement from not knowing what it looked like.
I have an iPad that won't charge unless I move the cord a certain way. It has to be pulled tight and angle the iPad against the wall. And that means chargers out there that don't need a wire. Like I could put it up on something and it'll charge, but I don't know which one to get because I don't know.
You just have a little piece of like pocket lint or something in your port.
No, it's my kid's iPad. They screwed it up.
Yeah. There's just something caught in there. You could blow it out or take it to a shop and they'll get it out with tweezers or something. There's like a piece of lint in there.
I don't know that James knows any more about this stuff than I do, but he says it so confidently, and I'm so insecure about my abilities in this realm. I'm just gonna say he's right. He's probably right. Hey, let's say hi to everybody. Kenny Dean Green. Hi, Kenny. It's Byron. Byron's here. Kenny Jenkins. We lead the league in Kennys and Leslies. We really do. We have more Kennys and Leslies. John is here. April is here.
April. I love April.
Hey, John. John is here. John says, hi from Las Vegas, where I saw Big Dick Hunter last night.
How is that?
Was he panhandling? No, of course.
What happened to him? He got divorced, right?
I don't know.
And then I think his
did he?
Dog died.
Hi, Leslie. I love you, Leslie.
Dude, last time I talked to Big Dick Hunter, I had him on my show in New Orleans because he was there when like Lamar Odom OD'd or something.
He found Lamar Odom. That's the craziest thing.
Like the Forrest Gump of SF.
He is.
Yes, Forrest Gump. Oh my God. All right, we'll get into. I want to get a review. John saw him. Dick had a big show in Vegas last night. It was our old pal Don Jameson, Dick Hunter, and Hal Sparks. And John went to the show, so maybe John can give us a quick review in the chat room there. He talked about Lamar. He talked about Lamar. Kelly, okay, so Okay, so I don't know if you, James, I think you might. Yeah, James, you do, because I came to a convention in New Orleans once. I had started a branding agency with some buddies, and one of the ways that we found was the easiest way to make money was if we just went to conventions and we would film conventions like the National Association of Nurses are meeting this week in Las Vegas or whatever.
What about furries?
No, nothing like that. Professional organizations. We had a real,
Yikes.
oh my God, we were doing well. Kelly, we were doing well. We were booked up all 52 weeks of the year. I mean, well,
Nice.
there are a couple of weeks off. We had fallen into something. We're like, we could really build this business. And then COVID.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then COVID crushed the convention business. James, I met you a couple times when I came to New Orleans for conventions, right? When we were doing the sound. So this particular time we were in Vegas and we were doing, this was we big with the actuaries. Do you know what the National Association of Actuaries are?
Yeah, those are the guys who determine how long you're going to live.
Okay. You know more than I do because I did about 7 actuary conventions and I still had no idea what these people were doing.
You didn't Google it?
I just don't, I was like, insurance, right? This is like insurance. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, kinda, but they're not insurance salesmen.
No.
They're the people who determine what the insurance rates will be because you're a fat dude in your 50s and you're probably going to die. And they're the ones that figured out when you're going to die. So they tell the insurance company. Anyway.
It's such a cool job, actually.
Well, they're fun people. I have partied with them on many a weekend on a convention. So here was what we would do. At these conventions, they have all of these, suites and conference rooms and all that stuff. And every day at the convention, somebody else is doing a presentation in these suites. But the people come from all around the country, not for the meetings. They come to party because it's their convention.
Of course.
So we determined that when there is like a 10 a.m. speech going on in one of the main ballrooms, ain't nobody showing up because they're all drunk from the night before and nobody wants to drag their ass down. Everybody wants to look good and nobody looks good because you're hanging out with your, people in your industry. So, everybody was missing all of these meetings. So we came up with a way that you could record and live stream these meetings to the people on their laptops in their hotel rooms. And the companies were like, okay, that's pretty good. So we would record them and do all that kind of stuff. So the actuaries, and perfect job for me. You're telling me that my job is to go hang out at conventions where people are just partying? One, I love hotels, and these are always in nice hotels and resorts. 2, I'm good at a bar with strangers. I was in the bar every night. So what do you do? Oh, I'm from Toledo, and I'm an actuary. What do you do? I'm recording stuff. Oh, and they were all so wonderful. Oh, that is so great. We read about that for this convention. We don't have to go to the meetings. I go, no, because of me. Get this guy a drink. Get this guy. So it was a lot of fun. And we were like, it was a nice little business. And then
it became a reality because 2020 came and no one was allowed to leave.
Yeah, it shut down the entire convention business.
Tell me about it.
Shut it all down.
Yep.
No jobs, no nothing. It started to... Anyway, what was I talking about? Why did we get into this? Why are we
talking about actuaries?
Oh, yeah.
Big Dick Hunter.
No, because I was in Vegas, right? And it was an actuary convention. I was with one of the, by the way, they have like 4 events a year. It's like, I thought, back in the old days when you'd see like a Honeymooners episode and they'd go to the Elks convention, it was like once a year, it was they would do it like 4 times a year. So anyway, what
was the name of Mr. Cunningham's? What was he a member of?
Yeah,
on Happy Days.
Wasn't he the one that didn't he want to be the Grand Poobah?
Yes.
Wasn't that it? Yeah. What was the Happy Days?
Oh,
Someone in the chat room will know.
I was -1 years old, so I don't know.
Well, I wasn't even born when the Honeymooners were going on, but I know that Ralph and Ed Norton belonged to the Water Buffaloes. I know that they were.
I thought that was the Flintstones. I thought that was Fred and Barney.
Might have been almost the same show.
I thought it was.
Yeah, basically the same show.
Yeah.
With less domestic abuse. That's all.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Elks Lodge? Brady says Elks Lodge.
Elks Lodge. Nah, I said Elks.
That's real.
That's a real one.
Okay.
So I'm at the I'm at the convention in Vegas, and I get a call from Dick Hunter. And I hadn't talked to Dick other than just, on social media in a long time.
Neither have I on purpose.
Well, he calls me and he goes, dude, guess what? And I go, what? He goes, did you hear about Lamar Odom? I go, yeah, that's breaking now, man. He goes, I found him. I'm like, what? What do you mean you found him? So he told me the whole story, and I got the better story than he gave to Entertainment Tonight later that evening. He's like, Entertainment Tonight's on their way over here right now. They're going to sit down and talk to me about it. And I got some good details. He is the Forrest Gump. He is the closest thing to Forrest Gump that I know.
Yeah, he just keeps showing up in very important situations. Right?
Remember when he tried to bring OJ into the radio station and nobody would let him, and he didn't understand why people had a problem with OJ?
Well, people had
I thought he was on the right. He
took task to them. We're like, no.
He was in the right on that one.
No.
I don't know. I think history's going to say different, James. But yeah, in the moment for pure radio, it should have been. You allow. You're a radio station. Since when do we have principles about that kind of stuff?
OJ can be on my show anytime because the second OJ's on your station, no one's changing the dial. No one's flipping around. What else is on?
I would.
Is that still the case?
Yes.
People still no, not for you. I know you're pretty married to that, Kelly. But I mean, is it still the case that people are interested in what OJ has to say?
Bro, it's still funny every time he tweets from the golf course. Oh, it's so funny. He has an opinion on like probably the shooting in Buffalo over the weekend. It's like, dude, it's like Ray Rice getting up in your grill about, domestic violence or whatever. It's like, it's so funny.
I do follow him on Twitter because his videos are hysterical. They are hysterical.
Ray Rice or OJ?
OJ.
Really?
He has a Twitter.
Oh yeah, Kelly. He is so self-unaware. He just tweets about current events.
And he golfs a lot. He's always looked like a pastoral, beautiful background, He looks like he's in seventh heaven.
Hey, everybody, it's OJ. People coming up to me all the time and asking me all about the Super Bowl. So here's my Super Bowl picks. And I'm like, that's not what people are asking you, OJ. That is not what people are coming up asking you about.
No. Did you find the killer, OJ? You still looking?
Yeah.
And then he criticizes people.
Oh, isn't that the best?
I love when he has like some kind of negative take on behavior.
I did see him criticize somebody recently. And the weird thing was, I remember agreeing with what he said, and I'm like, shut up, Kelly. No, turn it off.
I know, he's not always wrong.
Well, I mean, not everyone can be wrong 100% of the time. But he's a no-go for me.
You're telling me there's not a compilation on Twitter of O.J. Simpson tweets? There's gotta be.
I have no idea.
Oh, those videos are so fun.
But speaking of,
hey, how about an O.J. Simpson supercut? Hold on, we gotta let people see.
Or it's like, hey, O.J. here. Just want
to music you made me listen to last week.
Just want to tell all you, remember to wear your mask. Like, shut up.
Oh yeah. He was doing COVID ones where he's like, this COVID is really serious. Okay, here we go. O.J. Simpson supercut. Let's just get an idea of what it is that he's getting into on Twitter. This is why I follow him. Kelly, he is blissfully unaware of what people think of him.
And he is one of the top 5 running backs of all time.
Not top 5, but he's
number one killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
he's not top 5. Who are you going to – we're not getting it. He's not top 5.
He's top 10.
Yeah, I would say that he is definitely a top 10 running back, yeah, but not top 5. There's been too many.
I think he's like literally the 5th one.
No, not according to most lists. Not according to my list.
Walter, Barry,
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown, yeah, this is
yeah.
a good one.
And then you get into the Marshall Faulks, the Emmett Smiths, the LaDainian Tomlinsons.
The Eric Dickerson's kind of. No, he beats all those guys.
No,
he's 5th. He's 5th.
He really doesn't. Not by any metric. Not by yards. Not by anything. I mean, you just want a murderer to be the 5th greatest running back in history.
He really is the 5th. Anyway, go ahead.
Let's watch O.J. Simpson's Twitter supercut.
Hey, Twitter world, this is yours truly. Hello, Twitter world, this is yours truly. Hey, Twitter world, it's me, yours truly. Hey, Twitter world, yours truly. Hey, Twitter world, this is yours truly. Hello, Twitter world, this is me, yours truly. Hey, Twitter world, it's 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 yours truly. Hey, Twitter world, yours truly. Hey, Twitter world, it's me, yours truly. Hey, Twitter world, it's me, yours truly. Hey, Twitter world, yours truly. Hey, Twitter world, is yours truly. Hey, Twitter world, yours truly. Hey, Twitter world, yours truly. Hey, Twitter world, yours. Hey, Twitter world, is me, yours truly. Hey, Twitter world, is me, yours.
Can't even give
It's
us.
not compelling.
It's not. Where are his?
How right was I about the golf thing?
Yeah. Well, yeah. He's always golfing, or he's in like some kind of restaurant, which I guess people aren't jumping up and down and screaming for him to get out anymore when he goes into a restaurant.
He's probably not a HelloFresh subscriber. Out.
Let's see. Brady.
What does Instagram and TikTok think you want to watch?
OJ.
Like when you sign on,
Oh,
what are you bombarded with?
girls in bikinis, girls like any kind of like slutty. I only follow like 2 people on Instagram, and it's Britney Spears and Kim Kardashian. So they just think that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Yeah, I have a lot of boobs, a lot of butts, a little bit of Bitcoin thrown in there.
But I only go to Instagram like 3 times a year. I mean,
I go on like every day because I send stuff to my daughter. They think that I only want to know about Depp Heard. They think that the dog, not a team. Some things about Disney, but not really. And that's pretty much all that and babies, some baby things.
All right.
But I can guarantee you that's what's on all of it.
Dude, constantly Instagram has sent me videos for small waist, pretty face with the big bank. Do you know that little compilation?
No.
It's like a TikTok trend or something, and apparently they know that that works on me, and so they just keep doing it over and over, and it keeps working. So I'm in my own little feedback loop of small waist, pretty face, and a big bank, and it's just incredible. Like I've watched hours of this because they keep feeding it to me, and I try and get over it, and they keep putting it in front of me like a pusher, and it works.
Does it have anything to do with the song "I'm a Petty Ass Bitch"?
Yes.
Okay, I'm familiar with the song.
I found a full O.J. Simpson.
Oh no, is he going to say more than those 4 or 5 words?
Well, it gets better, Kelly. Some of these, because Pugs is right, that he is so either not self-aware or just enjoys pushing it.
He's oblivious.
He's not self-aware.
No, listen. If you killed your wife 30 years ago and you've gotten away with it for 30 years, aren't you kind of happy with yourself? It's like, yeah, I got to kill her and I got to get away with it and still like have my cake and eat it too. I got to kill that bitch. Didn't go to prison.
5 years because once you're cleared, they can't do anything about it.
So it seems like he very well may have done it, and he's kind of giddy about getting away with it and still having his freedom and not going to the chair and not going to prison and, or not being in prison.
And here's the deal. It's not even a statute of limitations thing. He was tried and found not guilty.
Yeah, he was tried and cleared.
He's good. All right, here you go. OJ, let's see if this is a good one with a hot take.
Hey, Twitter world. For years, people have been able to say whatever they want to say about me with no accountability. But now I get the...
He's complaining about accountability.
Can you believe people have been saying bad things about me? Yeah.
No accountability.
That's great. Good start.
Challenge a lot of that BS and set the record straight. More importantly, I'll be able to talk about everything, especially sports, fantasy football, and even politics. But for now, let me just say to my fellow fathers out there, happy Father's Day. And God bless.
Thank you.
Hey, Twitter.
Okay.
Thank you. That was very nice of him. I enjoy a good Father's Day salutation from the juice.
I love the fact that he thinks people want to talk to him about fantasy football.
I would like to hear his starting lineup.
Would that be your lead? That's what you would go in with? We do.
Well, we would get to it.
Talk to me about fantasy football.
Is Juice going to do a Mother's Day one?
I think he skipped it. He skipped it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's terrible, but it is funny. It's like happy Mother's Day. My kids don't have a mother.
Don't know how that happened.
Could be anybody. We may never know.
Let's see if there's any other one. Yeah, right.
Horrible.
Oh man, there's a whole bunch of his videos that have been taken down. I wonder why that. Why can't you let
Bunch of sensitive people out there.
Oh my God, what did he do? Yeah, he does weekly picks, Kelly. He does kind of a version of your old practical pick segment every week during the football season. OJ puts out a video where he picks the week's games. Yeah, for bettors and all that kind of stuff. All right, that's enough of the OJ. Hey, James, did you do a monologue? Do we have a monologue?
Yeah, why don't you go pull the script and let's have some fun.
All right, let's do a monologue here. James does a monologue every time, every Monday through Thursday here on the
Like
Pugs.
how I talk to my husband. So it's a monologue.
So it's monologue. Here we go. Please welcome to the stage here in the Comfort Nest Guest House high atop the 1%er compound in beautiful, sunny downtown Highland Park, Texas. He is a comedy legend, an icon of stage, screen, radio, cruise ships, conventions. Please welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, James McMartin Parker.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Good crowd. Good crowd. All right. According to the National Enquirer, Whoopi Goldberg can't stop gaining weight. To give you an idea how big she is, last night she bent over and split her moo-moo.
There you go. That's
Yeah, you got to be pretty big to split a moo-moo these days. For his last meal, I know y'all love these death row convicts with their last meal. A guy in Arizona named Clarence Dixon, he ate Kentucky Fried Chicken, and then he kicked the bucket.
Look at that.
Okay. All right. TLC, the Learning Channel, or used to be the Learning Channel. TLC, though, is now filming season 4 of 1,000 Pound Sisters. But Pugs, I didn't know your mom had a sister.
Hey, you're not getting the scene. Okay.
It's a fat joke.
My mom's not even fat, though. She's never been fat.
I know. That's the point. It's just a fat joke. It's just a mom joke. God. All right. Hey, did y'all see Saturday's pro-choice protests? You know, they had members of the LGBTQIAAP community. Look, I have it spelled out. That stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, transsexual, queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, ally, and pansexual. And what I learned from a crowd like that is you just use whatever bathroom has the shortest line. That's it
makes sense.
It's a long setup, yeah. Today is International Day of Living Together in Peace, or as Vladimir Putin calls it, Monday.
Oh, man.
Happy birthday to me and Pug's favorite president, President Duda of Poland. Do you know the president of Poland, Kelly? His name's Duda. This is a big birthday, though. He turns 50 today. And Kelly, do you know President Duda's favorite Aerosmith song?
No.
Pugs?
Duda looks like a lady.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's try this again. Kelly, can you guess the Polish president Duda's favorite Ashton Kutcher movie?
I can't even name one. So
Duda, where's my car?
Yes. Applaud yourself. Come on, Kelly. Come on. Let's give her one more. Can you guess President Duda's favorite American Revolutionary theme song?
No.
Damn it.
Where's my lady? I don't know.
Pug. I bet Pugs can.
Would it be Yankee Duda?
Yankee Doodle Dandy, yes.
I'm prepared for the Duda jokes.
You'll get them next time, Kelly. Happy birthday to the drummer of Foghat. His name's Roger Earl. I don't want to say he's getting old, but he and the band have a new song called Slow Ride Up My Stair Lift.
Oh, look at that.
You could have booed that one. That would have been okay. That was a bad one. And finally, another happy birthday. Actually, it was Ray Lewis's birthday yesterday. He turned 47. Of course, these days he's not playing football. The former Ravens linebacker is now speaking out against violence in Baltimore. And if there's one thing Ray Lewis can't stand, y'all, it's violence.
There you go. All right. Very good, James.
Thank you.
Very good.
Oh, so good you just got rid of him?
No, I'm here.
Very sweet. He's back.
Oh, I didn't make you big for that. You like to be made big for those. I forgot.
It doesn't matter. When I'm sharing it with Kelly, it's not that big of a deal.
Aw, thanks.
Okay.
We're not used to having hot people here.
So, I'll find one for you.
I wanted to show both. Well, actually, I shouldn't say both of you. I know that Kelly has a situation where she fights with her neighbors. I don't know if this has always been the case, but I know that she has a bad neighbor. James, how do you get along with your neighbors?
Well, these neighbors now, I barely know them because I've only been here like 4 months.
Okay, so give
Yeah.
it time. Is that what you're saying? Just give it time.
Well, I talked to the neighbor that's directly, if I'm looking out my front door, he's on the right. Because home dude is in his front yard all the time. Like he sets up a lawn chair in his front yard and just drinks like sweet tea or something. I don't know what the hell he's doing. And his wife's out there. They're like retired and he's tinkering with something in his garage, and his garage is in the front of the house. So he's
I live in
always
that world.
outside. And then across the street from him is another retired old lady, and she's always in her garage too. She has a table set up and she watches like her granddaughters during the day while her daughter's at work. And they just hang out in the garage all the damn time. So I know those two really well. I barely know the rest of them.
That is like the most folksy description of neighbors I have ever heard.
I know.
Yeah,
Can
my
y'all
neighbors
stop?
do the same thing. So does my husband. It's like he keeps the garage door open as if to say, "Hey, if you want to come over and talk, you're totally welcome right now."
Open for business.
Yeah.
That's what I used to where I used to live on Saturday mornings. If you needed to go over to a neighbor, if you needed to borrow something, you waited for the sign of the open garage door. If the garage door was open on Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning, that meant they're home and you can go say hi or whatever. If the garage door is closed, I mean, it was the point I can remember my mom saying, their garage door isn't open. Like that was a rule. It was a rule that everybody. I don't think they're awake yet. It was like that's how you let the neighborhood know that you're open for business on a Saturday morning. So your husband, I imagine that Jeff just sits, like still inside the garage, but close to the driveway with the door open. He's probably got one of those lounge chairs, one of those foldable lounge chairs. No,
he doesn't sit. He does like little activities. Sometimes something with his truck. Then now he used to at our old house 2 blocks away that we had to sell to get away from our crazy neighbors to move somewhere else. And he has Grandpa Dave is our friend. And they used to do like they just piddle around is the best way I could describe it. Any kind of little like household chores or let's see if we could rewire this or what happens when we whatever. But Dave's gotten a little bit older. We moved. Now, 2 doors down. Now we've got Mr. Craig. And they do things like they were weed whacking the pond area in front of our houses, even though we're not responsible for that. They're doing it like for fun. And they find other things. They've been gardening now in the front of our house, which is nice because I don't know how to do that. I only know how to grow eggplants, apparently. But yeah, he opens the door.
Does he
and
drink?
that just means like, hey guys, if you want to pop by, you want to go to Lowe's, which is something they do all the time.
Like, is this like a drinking? Like, I always think of like the working dude who hangs out in the garage and he's always got. Does he got a cooler out there? Has he got?
No,
a
it's not
fridge,
drinking thing at all. It's like
No?
physical labor thing. And then they'll clean out the garage, and then
They like to mow their own grass, even though they could afford to have a kid come do it for $20 or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then he's not looking to commiserate. I think we're talking about people who in the neighborhood who are obviously looking to chat. They're just sitting there watching the world go by, right? Just kids on skateboards.
He takes the kids to the bus stop, and he comes home 15 minutes after the kids have already been picked up because he's socializing with all the guys at the bus stop.
There is a little.
Paul, I hear about him.
There was a little old lady in this neighborhood who just sits on her. She's got a beautiful walkway and she's got these beautiful, real elaborate staircase steps that lead up to her front porch. And every day I run by, I see her there and she just sits there and she says, hi. And I don't know, she might be crazy. Like she might be demented. You know? What do they call it? Dementia. But she just looks like that's her excitement. She comes down and she sits on the steps and she doesn't have anything to drink or anything like that, but she just sits there and people walk the dogs and she talks to them and then kids roll by and she talks to them and I jog by and she always says hi. It's almost like, yeah, it is. It's kind of sad, but it's also kind of sweet. You know, it's like, I'm like, oh, hiya. One of these times I'm going to say, what's your name? So I can say hi to your name. But what dawned on me is that there is very little difference between like a 95-year-old and a 5-year-old.
True.
Like a
Yep.
5-year-old would just sit there and go, "Hi."
Yeah.
Just
Oh, what's your name?
yeah.
Mhm.
That's I feel like maybe it's the
What
same
if
kind
favorite
of
color is
You're
red?
no. The thing, the mindset is, we're in the same room. You're my friend now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, I know you. You're not a stranger. You're
Mhm.
standing in front of me. All right, so let's talk about neighbors because there's a situation that went down in Forney, and you both have kids, right? Well, not right. Yes. Okay. Rhetorical question. You both have kids. Uh, sometimes kids. Sometimes kids get involved in scrapes with one another. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's like an issue. I want to play this thing. This happened in Forney. Can we break down one who's at fault? I'm going to play the news story for you. Okay, so we're going to watch the news story, and then I'm going to just throw it to you guys, and you tell me what you think is going on. Okay, here's all I need to tell you. It's a black kid and a white kid,
Oh,
and it's white kid
no.
parents and black kid parents, and they live next door to each other. And in the story, they describe it as a bullying situation, but they never say who's bullying who. So let's just watch the news story and let's try and figure this out because I talked about it on the noon show. And yeah, I have some very strong opinions on this, but I want to let you guys chime in first after you see it. So here we go. This is from right here in the North Texas area, the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. This is a situation. It was captured initially on a Ring doorbell. Boy, Ring doorbells are great.
I
I
have
can
one. Yes.
I can watch Ring doorbell videos on YouTube for
Yep.
hours. they're,
Mhm.
they're so interesting. All right, here you go. Here's the news story.
It started off as a knock at Carissa Nash's front door in Forney.
I look at my doorbell camera on my phone first before going to the door, and I see it's a little kid.
That little kid is her 9-year-old neighbor with a whip in hand. The Kaufman County Precinct 2 constable says the boy may have been trying to confront the Nash family's 9-year-old daughter. Then after the second whip,
Little boy, you better get your from off my porch beating on my door like this. I will call the police. You need to leave.
it happened on Thursday afternoon off of Crosscut Drive in Forney when Dad, Desira Nash, got home.
Coming to have a conversation with you, sir. Your son? I'll show you the video. Okay, so he beat on your door. Okay, now we have a huge scratch.
Can you come look at our car?
Seconds later,
Can you please stop, sir?
authorities say neighbor Ryan Brunson had a gun in his right hand.
Of course he did.
Officers say the gun went off, firing in the direction of Brian's daughter standing directly behind him.
Oh my God!
Precinct 2 officers arrested Brunson and charged him with deadly conduct. We tried to get Brian Brunson's side of the story. I spoke to him on the phone briefly, where he posted bond and tells me there is a lot more to the story and that he now has an attorney. Authorities tell us all of this may have stemmed from when the kids were walking home from school.
This stems from a bullying issue between the victim's daughter and the young boy with the whip. There's been several interactions between two of them at different times and different locations.
The Nash family says they feel hurt.
We know the history of the whip. This is a racial issue. He comes to the door with this whip. We're kind of scared to send him outside to play.
In Forney, I'm Malini Basu.
All right, so just to recap here on the story, 9-year-old boy in Forney goes to his neighbor's house with a whip demanding to speak to their daughter, who they've had problems with. Dad comes home from work and does what, I would do. You go over and you talk to the other adults. You talk to the other parents. You say, what is this? He goes over. He's being incredibly respectful. They filmed it all. He calls him sir, and he asks him to look at the video. The guy who came to the door with the kid, the guy who sired the kid with the whip, has a gun. And he's got the gun in his hand, even though it's the neighbor who they know, he's got the gun in his hand. And of course, he Barney Fifes it. The gun goes off accidentally because he's a responsible gun owner.
Right.
And, the police come and arrest that idiot. Okay, so the idiot goes to jail, and the parents are now saying, well, look, I get what they're saying about the whip. God, okay, so those are my thoughts. Where did it all go wrong? James, you want to take it first? Or let's go with James first, and then Kelly, you formulate your thoughts.
Well, I hate to do the real obvious thing, but I feel like that there is a history between these neighbors that we don't know about. Because I feel like I just walked in the middle of the movie and only saw the last 5 minutes, and so I don't know what's really going on. Not that. And then you come up with, well, what could it be that would justify idiot just
No,
squeezing
that's
off?
not what I was going to ask you. I was going to say, based on what you saw someone approach a door, call the person sir, say, please look at the video. This happened to me at my house.
Well, it's not like it was a calm, collected sir. It was like, sir, look at your son, look at the video. So it was kind of confrontational, even though it was polite. He was well within his rights to say it like that, because I would kind of be upset too.
James, because the guy had a gun. The guy came to the door with a gun when the neighbor just wanted to know why the kid scratched. By the way, it's the other thing they said in there. The kid scratched the car, or at least there's a scratch on the car, and I totally believe it. Look, all I'm saying, and I'm going to let you finish here. All I'm saying is it seems that there is one obvious asshole in this situation and another guy who's just a dad who's mad that while he was at work, some kid came to his door with a whip. Okay? And he called him sir, and he said, please look at this video, and then the gun goes off. James, continue.
Yeah, knowing no other information, you're absolutely right. And I think the cops handled it right. You can't be squeezing off warning shots or Barney Fife and, just a stray round in your own front yard. So, yeah, charge him with reckless discharge of a gun or something like that. I think it all went down fine. But I don't know if these guys had threatened each other before, or if they had, almost gotten into fights before. And so to feel like it just got escalated to that level, if there's no history between these guys, that guy's way out of line to show up with a gun in his hand because the neighbor knocked on his door.
There is history. There's something going on with those kids. Although the story that we just saw.
Well, kids. What about the adults? What about?
Well, here's Kelly. Go ahead. You take it if you've got anything.
Well, I mean, there is probably some kind of animosity between the two, obviously, but it's. You got to teach your kids. Like if my 10-year-old or my soon-to-be 8-year-old showed up, I saw a ring cam of them taking a whip and whipping the neighbor's door after they had just gotten into an altercation with another girl next door. Unacceptable.
Yes.
Yeah. Across the board.
Nope. Are you kidding me? You went to their door and you started banging on their door with a whip? Who are you, child? I mean, no, I would. But did you hear the response of the dad? So what?
Yeah,
right there on the video. That was the dad's response.
Not responsible. But
so
in a way,
as he's
holding, what I'm trying to learn, because I would like to think that I would be the bigger person or be smart enough to understand, oh, I'm not going to change your opinion on anything. Like, this isn't going to be like some kind of aha moment for you where you're going to be like, you know what? That was kind of over the line. I'll have a talk with him about that. That wasn't going to happen.
But that's all it takes. All it takes is, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Okay, let me role play it. Okay, I'm going to be the dad opening the door. Oh, you want me to take a look at that video? Oh my God. Jasper, get over here. Yeah. Oh my God. I look, hey man, we all need to live on this block together. I am so sorry. I'll tell you what my response wouldn't be. So what? And then reach for my gun. Okay. That is complete. What?
By the way, I'm packing.
By the way, it's kind of obvious where the little asshole gets it from.
Yeah.
I mean, the apple does not fall far from the tree. I would like to think that this is an isolated incident and that guy is just an asshole, and that's why it made the news. I would like to think 9 out of 10 times in a neighborhood, that would be resolved differently. That would be two grown adults going, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Hey, what's going on with our kids? Let's get our kids. Let's figure out what is going on here. But no. It was, so what?
Yeah, no.
And he pulls
mine would have been, Quinn, get down here. What happened?
James, any thoughts on the racial aspect of it? The family made the correlation between the history of the whip and the Southern boy.
Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch. That's ridiculous.
You think that's a stretch? You don't think a black family has a right to think that there was something more to this kid coming to a door and whipping it like he's the slave master's son at the quarters?
Not really, no.
You just really can't step outside yourself ever, can you?
I mean, I absolutely can, but like, does the 9-year-old know that? Did the 9-year-old just watch Roots? He watched the whole miniseries last week and got some ideas?
No, the 9-year-old spent 9 years with the so what guy with the gun. So yeah, he doesn't need to see Roots, James.
Look, but I'm seriously sure Quinn knows. My 10-year-old doesn't know about the history of whips and whipping, especially in Texas. They're not allowed to teach that.
But Quinn is not raised by that guy. That guy is probably a racist. He's a moron. So
you don't know that.
Is he a moron?
He could be a moron. Look, the thing is
morons. I mean, is there a good chance that a moron who behaves that way also probably doesn't like black people? Also,
it could be. Look, you don't know. This kid could be getting bullied for the last like 3 years in school, and this girl is part of some ringleader of group of kids that beats him up on the bus like 3 times a week, and
that kid did not look scared. That kid did not look like he was the victim of bullying. He brazenly whip and then stared down a grown woman.
Look, I'm not arguing and saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying there is a scenario to where this guy is just at his wit's end, and we caught him. Like, he's not just a fly off the handle a-hole at the first provocation. He's going to pull a gun. Maybe they have called the cops on each other like 10 times, and there's already been threats. And if you do anything else to my kid, I'm going to show you what's up. And fine, you show up at my door, I'm going to have a gun. We don't know what happened yesterday or the day before or the last 5 years.
You are willing to make the argument that the kid who, without a care in the world, showed up demanding with a whip, slapping the front door, is the victim.
No. I'm saying you don't know that he doesn't have a care in the world. You don't know if this is a kid who's been bullied for the last year and he's finally standing up for himself and he's just doing it the wrong way because he's gone psycho. I mean, we don't know. We don't know.
Making excuses for what is obviously the guy in the wrong.
I'm saying we don't know. I'm saying we don't know the context, and we have been burned by taking videos out of context before. And so while it's most likely that this kid is definitely an a-hole and his dad is a bad person too, I'm just saying we don't know without having the context. You can put anything in just like the last 5 minutes of history, frame it from only one person's side of the story and make the other guy look like an a-hole. We don't know what this guy's side of the story is at all. We don't have one comment from him. He wasn't on the news package.
Yeah, his lawyers told him he couldn't talk.
Because he already got arrested and charged with the crime. So he doesn't get to go out there and tell his side of the story to the news crew. We only have the other side of the story where they show him the video that makes him look bad, and then the other video that makes him look bad. And then, hey, did you realize there's a whip? And like they used to whip black people when they were slaves with whips, and so they're probably racist too. All we got is one side of the story, and it was so goddamn bad, it's almost unbelievable.
Do you think that we can find the dad at the next LGBTQ parade?
I don't think you're going to find either one of those dads at the next LGBTQ parade, to be fair.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's the other thing. It's not either or. I mean, these just two normal Texas dads. One guy called him sir and walked up to the door, videotaped. We saw it on videotape. He was being reasonable for a father who came home from work and was shown a video of a little kid at his front door with a whip demanding to see his 9-year-old daughter. With all of that, he walked over to the neighbor's house and still called him sir, even though that guy said, so what, and had a gun in his hand. I mean, I think there is obviously a difference.
If Quinn had done that to somebody, I'd be so embarrassed. I'd be apologizing up and down. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry.
Well, sorry, James. If you don't agree with everything is racism, you're wrong. You do not see how. See, this is you people cannot look at it from anybody else's perspective. You don't.
No, you can't. You can't.
I'm a white guy. I don't have any history of racial violence in my past.
None of us do.
No, but a black family in the South who is saying, yeah, when someone shows up with a whip, it reminds me of the time in Mississippi 50 years ago when my grandpa was beaten with a whip on the front porch. What the fuck don't you get about that? Different experiences. Black people have different experiences when it comes to these kinds of things than we do. You don't acknowledge that.
No, I do. Of course they have different experiences. That doesn't mean that this is that
when
every time
this reminds them of racism and you go, well, I don't believe that. You understand you have no standing to say that.
Oh, okay. So my opinion is not valid based solely on the color of my skin.
Your opinion is you're not valid based on an experience that isn't shared with the people making their own deduction of what occurred.
So because I am white, I have inherent traits that prevent me from having as valid of an opinion as other people based solely on the color of their skin.
No. Hi, James. I'm white, and I'm telling you I can see from their perspective. I'm saying that because you are the kind of white that you are refusing to see it from their perspective.
I'm not refusing. I am saying you don't know. I'm saying you don't know that they're racist. You don't know that they're the bad guy. You don't know the context. You're walking in the middle of a movie that you don't know. Maybe this guy has been threatened by the guy across the street before 10 times. Maybe the guy has pulled a gun on him before, and so he just says, well, next time he comes to my door, I'm going to pull a gun on him. Maybe the last 10 times he went across the street, he was the guy that had a gun pulled. He was the guy looking at the fellow with the gun. And he decided, this is the one time I'm going to pull a gun, and this is the one time that we see it on camera. And of course, he's going to say "sir" when he knows he's being recorded. He's setting the dude up.
Well, you know what? The other guy, did you see the wife in the doorway? The other guy's side was recording too, and he still said, "So what?" and pulled a gun. So, and wait, stop for a second. Jeff, really, Pugs? That's part of the problem, thinking everything is racist? Man, that is an oversimplification of what I'm saying. What I am saying is don't devalue the opinion of the black family who says this reminds them of their experience being black in America. I am not saying that it's racist. I am pushing back against James saying, no, absolutely not. I'm saying, well, it could be. It could be. I can see how a black family with a kid with a whip on their front porch might go, yes, this reminds me of a history of racial aggression that my family or my people have endured. I am in no way, Jeff, saying everything is racist. And you listen enough to know that I don't just go with, oh, that's racist, that's racist, that's racist. I'm pretty even-handed. I am simply saying that you cannot discount what these people felt in the moment simply because you don't have their experience of being black in America. That is a very real.
I'm white in America, and if a kid came to my door, black, white, or whatever, with a whip demanding to see my daughter, that's a problem.
If somebody came to my front door with a noose and I'm white, I probably wouldn't think anything of it. But if I was black, I might have a much different reaction to it. Is that fair to say?
Okay.
Is it fair to say that a black family seeing a guy on their porch with a noose might react differently than me, a white guy, seeing a guy on my porch with a noose? Is it fair to say the black family might make different correlations than I am?
I guess so.
Yeah, of course it's fair to say that, but that's not even the point at all. No one's arguing that they don't think that. The point is that a valid concern coming from a 9-year-old?
Wow. I don't think the black parents are old enough to remember their parents getting whipped. That's like one of the dumbest statements that could possibly be made here. I'm not old enough to remember my parents or my great-grandparents being forced out of Ireland because of the potato famine, but I know it happened, and it's something that I understand is in my family history. What does that have to do with anything? Because they weren't personally whipped in Mississippi or had somebody hung from a tree in their front yard, that their feelings are invalid?
No, but listen, I have a 9-year-old, and if he came by and he threw a potato in your front yard and you're like, I'm so upset about the famine, he's racist, it would be ridiculous.
No, because
it would be insane. He's anti-Irish. He threw a potato. Don't you think people who come from the potato land would be more upset if someone threw a potato in their yard than a black person? Well, then of course it's James. You can't see how racist that is. It's a potato, and I'm Irish. That's what it sounds like to me. That's exactly what it sounds like to me.
And that's.
I think I just won. Actually, I think I just checkmated you.
That's really what it sounds like to you, because the Irish experience of my family, who had basically every advantage given to them when they came over, that's not true. That is not true. By the way, if somebody threw a potato in my front yard, I'd be like, what the fuck?
I would think they didn't have any eggs.
The Irish in this nation, especially from where I'm from, have never been pushed around. They basically had their own communities, and they ran the city and they ran the police. It's a different experience. So that I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, don't you think that Irish people would have a different reaction to potato references than black people?
Not at all.
No, not. So you're just discounting the suffering of 4 million dead Irishmen from the potato famine. That's we can just forget about that. I'm just supposed to forget about my great-great-grandfather who had to run from the Irish potato famine. I'm not allowed to carry that suffering going forward.
James, the Irish have been fighting a terror war against the British for about 150 years. So yeah, no, they ain't forgotten it, but they know who caused it. So it's not like people in America are somehow being starved by the actions of 1860. Or 1847, I think. I don't know, whatever.
We still had mashed potatoes with Easter.
We are going in a completely different direction. I am simply saying that you seem to discount. I'm not saying it was racist. I'm saying that I took offense, not offense. Let's not be silly because we're doing a show here. But I was I didn't like how absolute you were that the parents couldn't possibly have felt that was racism. That's the point. That's where that goes. I'm not saying it is racism.
That's not what I thought. That's a straw man argument. I don't think it's a valid concern.
When my yard wasn't. Come on.
Right, but that was a beautiful illustration of absurdity to demonstrate other absurdity.
No, okay, so you believe that the parents are wrong for thinking that this was racially motivated. That's what you're saying.
I'm thinking they might be right. I'm thinking they don't know. I think that's a ridiculous conclusion to come to for a 9-year-old.
They don't know. It's not about know. It's about feel. You're saying that they don't feel that it was racially motivated.
I think it has been incredibly convenient use of anything that makes sort of a reference to evil things that people have done based on race in the past to kind of bend current contemporary public opinion to your side when you're telling a story.
Okay. So these people are what, part of the liberal left? This isn't something that just
no. I'm thinking they're trying to tell a sympathetic story to a news crew, and that helps their case a whole lot, whether they're right or wrong. Throwing that in there makes them look more sympathetic.
There was serious poor decision making in that, like the son feeling like he could get a whip and whip on a neighbor's door. My kids wouldn't think that. If they did, that's a problem that I have to deal with because I've done something wrong. Then coming to the door with a gun, and then it accidentally goes off and almost, shoots neighbors. Like, poor decision making. That should have never happened. Race or no race. Like, that was just like, that's just move. My advice is move. One of you two move.
All right, so tell me about the Lyft driver.
Hear thy neighbor on Discovery ID. I know what happens.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to go into the Lyft driver's story now because Channel 9 I don't like what Channel 9 is suggesting here. I brought back 2 topics that were trending today because I wanted to share them with you two to get your 2 opinions on it because I'm all by myself. So fuck you, Channel 9. That's a kind of a shitty thing, acting like I'm rehashing stuff. I am, and I'm bringing it to a whole new group of people, you dick.
Wow. Right. Okay. By the way, Amber Heard's crazy. I'm just throwing that out there as a palate cleanser.
Yeah, there you go. That's good. That's good. Look at just the specifics. The whip and the gun were both idiotic moves. Why bring race into it? Because the people who are the victims, as the police described them, said that they felt like this was a racial thing. And I'm not saying it was. I am saying that for a white guy to go, that's not racist, you don't know. You can't possibly feel the way a black family would. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I've been saying the whole time.
Yeah, I think you're right on
I've
that.
kind of been saying we don't know either, and you rail against me. Oh, how do you know?
No,
we don't know if it's racist. They might be racist, but we don't know that, and it's silly to say that.
But the people think it is, and that's what we're arguing about. We're arguing about whether or not these people could be right in feeling that it was a racial thing. I think they are.
Your own experiences in.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That's what it is. They have a different life experience. That's really the greater point. I'm trying to get you to see it from somebody else's perspective. James.
It would be okay. That would make sense if in our entire life we had seen white people whipping black people, but it hasn't happened. Have you ever seen a white person whipping a black person no. Have you ever even seen a horse whip before?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, seriously, have you had a horse whip? Have you ever whipped a horse with it? Have you ever whipped cattle? No, because I have, and I've never used it on a black person. I've handled whips many times in my lifetime, and I think, where's the nearest black fella? Let me try this out.
Well, there you go. Good for you, James.
Good
for you. You've never done it.
Good point.
Let's hear it for James. He's never whipped.
I'm just saying it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen anywhere on the North American continent since we've been alive. So to act like, well, there's a natural connection here with white people and black people and whips. No, there's not. There's like a historical connection going back to Alex Haley's roots, whenever that was. But when was the last time you think there was a whipping of a black person by a white person in America?
Let's Google it.
It's
I
a
don't know.
super duper rare event. Like you would have to Google it.
They don't use whips anymore. They use machine guns at grocery stores, James.
Exactly. Thank you. So that proves my point. Yes.
It doesn't mean that there isn't a cultural identifier in the whip. It doesn't mean that the whip does. It's like the noose.
I know, but if you're going that deep of a dive, we're talking about a 9-year-old. A 9-year-old.
A 9-year-old raised by that guy. And
it would have to be a 9-year-old raised by some really hardcore white supremacist guy that not only is he really into it, but he's really into teaching his kids about it.
They don't live in Texas.
No, it would not. It does not necessarily have to be the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan's kid to know that whips and nooses and those kinds of things were used to subjugate black people in America. What is wrong with you?
Sometime previous to age 9, he says, "Hey kids, let's go watch Roots. This is great. You're gonna love this. This is a role model that you should emulate." Right? Like, how evil does this guy have to be? I'm not saying people this evil don't exist, but it's rare enough that I'm not going to assume that was this guy's motivations or a 9-year-old child's.
That guy has never seen Roots. That guy's dad probably didn't let him watch Roots. He's not letting his kid watch Roots. What's wrong with you?
Oh, I figure you probably thought he was watching Roots and cheering for the white guys.
No, he wouldn't watch a show with that many black people on it, is what I'm saying.
It's really long.
He watches football.
Yeah, well, that's different. What, Kelly? Go ahead.
It was long. It was a mini series. So many days that you'd have to dedicate.
Too much dialogue, not enough car chases.
Yeah.
Look, that video, there is one asshole and there is one group of people who are obvious victims. Now, whether or not it was racially motivated, you're right, we don't know. But for them to feel like it was is not an outlandish suggestion. I just wanted to see. I mean, I knew what you were going to say.
It's not likely. It's possible, but not probable.
Yeah.
So what percent?
Yeah.
10.
10% that the whip was specifically some sort of. No, it's not about what the kid intended. It's
or the dad. Or the dad.
The relationship between
the effect on the people who were the victims here are what I'm talking about. And you're discounting that. Nah. They don't have a right to feel like that was racist. And I'm saying, yeah, they do have a right to feel like it was
they're
racist.
probably wrong. They have a right to feel that way, but they're probably wrong.
Okay, so they got their door whipped by the kid next door. Somebody ended up shooting in their direction, and now they're also wrong about how they felt about it.
No, just about that it was primarily racially motivated. That's
been through enough.
Well,
they have been through enough. You don't have to throw racism on top of it. They already got an idiot neighbor with a horrible kid. And so, no, we don't have to keep piling on there for them to already be in the right. They're already the victims. They're already the right guys. The bad guys are across the street. We get it.
That's what I'm doing.
It's all right. They had a gun fired at them.
Get it, blah, blah. You know what this is? World's smallest violin.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think justice happened. The guy got arrested. He's being charged with the crime. I hope he has to pay for any damages to the door or the car that would happen with the whip. But we don't have to turn everything into Mississippi burning.
Everything is not turned into Mississippi burning. That's pretty much a talking point, though, that I expect from you, Will, and Jeff. Every time there is something that is even remotely, you're just, why are you defending? Oh, God, this is so ridiculous. Well, good show, guys. This was fun. It was, though. It was. I love this.
Hey, and Kelly, you might want to check out tomorrow's show. I'm going to try and convince Pugs, and I think I can do it, that cockfighting should be legal.
I'm very excited about this. We're gonna do a new segment where James comes up with one of these crazy right field concepts, and then he tries to convince me, a relatively normal individual, that his insane thought processes make sense.
But these are important exercises, Kelly, because if you are open-minded, are you really going to listen to this segment tomorrow with the idea of maybe James is right and cockfighting should be illegal? Or are you just going to listen to it and be like, what dumb thing can I rebut that he's about to say?
No, I'm closed-minded on cockfighting.
I think you might want to just
It's a hard no for
prepare
me.
yourself mentally, because I have a very compelling argument that very well could change your mind, if and only if you truly are open-minded.
No, it's my fault for not siding with you.
Well, no, if you don't even consider it, then yes, you're closed-minded. But I'm going to give you some things to think about.
Yes.
You might not come to my conclusion, but I will give you some things that will make you rethink your stance that cockfighting should be illegal. I think it should be. In fact, I think, of course, it should be legal, and it's not even close.
I think it's about time to, as Ross Rubio points out, remind everyone that James has never heard of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. So
overrated.
There you go. There you
Trash.
go. Never even heard of them until I played you 10 seconds of 5 songs that were all top 5 hits and multi-million sellers, but you've decided. Yeah, we can agree on John Hinckley. Yes,
No.
we can agree on that.
That's a hard no for me. Again.
All right, now Will would like, okay, I do too. Let's just a little tease for tomorrow's new segment where James tries to convince me of something insane. Will says, can we please expand on what we mean by cockfighting before I take a side? What do you mean? You mean chickens, or do you mean like things that happen in a gay bathhouse? Which area of cockfighting are we going for?
All right, I mean chickens fighting to the death.
Chickens with the little blades on their feet.
Well, some of them have blades. The blades aren't the deal breaker,
Yeah. Okay. All right. I do like chicken. I can tell you that my first thoughts, which you will try to push me off of, is that it seems unnecessarily cruel.
Also, it seems like in either cock scenario, the humans are in charge.
And what's the difference between, do you feel the same way? And we'll be hearing this tomorrow. This is just where we're dancing around this right now. Do you feel the same way about dog fighting?
Good points. All good points.
I do.
Okay,
I'm against it.
Because dogs are cuter than chickens. And, if we're being honest, we do like cute things. Chickens aren't cute. All right.
It's a lot better than that. It's a lot better than that.
All right.
If you want to do some research, go see what we do to chickens before we eat them. Go see how they're processed in plants.
Are we eating the chickens that lose the cockfights, or are we just killing animals to kill animals?
Let's do it. See you tomorrow.
Killing animals for sport tomorrow on Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. All right, Kelly, we're out of here. Thank you for joining us.
Bye. Thank you.
That was a good one. There she goes. And I'm out of here, too. Hey, High Noon tomorrow. Join me tomorrow on High Noon. Topics. Bye, everybody. No, Jeff. You did a great show. Love you guys.